Joining me is my co-host Lucas Summers, and we're here to talk about all the memorable moments that happened this past month. Well, it was another fantastic month of March in college basketball as the Virginia Cavaliers won their first ever national championship. They defeated the Texas Tech Red Raiders by a score of 85-77 in a thriller of a game. March Madness is the time where heroes are created, Cinderellas continue to dance, and history is made in one way or another. This March was no different as we saw a variety of different superstars and mega matchups that kept even the average fan on the edge of their seat. To help me recap all the great storylines is my co-host Lucas Summers. To start, we can't talk about the college basketball this year without mentioning Zion Williamson. An absolute freak of an athlete, he continued to take over the whole sport this tournament with his highlight dunks and powerful blocks. It seems with every game Duke played this season, Zion's reputation just got bigger and bigger. And when it came to tournament time, he didn't disappoint. He averaged 26 points and 8.5 rebounds in 4 games that he played during March, with a game-winning basket against UCF that ended to be an all-time classic. Although the Blue Devils weren't able to go all the way, their season was still something very special, and a lot of that can be attributed to Zion. We are certainly excited to see what he's able to bring to the table at the next level. Next on our list, we have Wofford's Fletcher McGee. It seems every year we get an unsuspected superstar in the tournament, and this year Fletcher was our guy. He had broken the school record for made three-pointers in a season, and he carried over this talent to the big stage when he broke the NCAA tournament record for most made threes in a game against Seton Hall. We all love a Cinderella team this year, and the glass slippers certainly fit on the Wofford Terriers. Lucas, I know this is your favorite player of the tournament. What do you have to say on Fletcher?
He certainly was, Joe. Fletcher McGee was a key player for the Bulldogs all season, averaging 20.3 points per game, 46% field goals, 4.5 three-pointers, and 44% three-point per game. In the first round of the tourney, Wofford beat Seton Hall 84-68. McGee was fantastic, hitting 7 of his 12 threes, breaking an NCAA career record of 509 threes made. Following the record-breaking performance, McGee attempted 12 threes, only hitting 0 of them, which was a record for the most threes missed in a game. The Kentucky won 62-56 and moved on to the Sweet 16. Another breakout performance this year in the tournament was Ja Morant. In the first round for Murray State, Morant had a triple-double in the upset over Marquette. He had 17 points, 16 assists, and 11 rebounds in the win, but would come up short to the number 4 seed Florida State in a second-round game, 90-62. Florida State just had too much firepower for Ja Morant.
Last but not least, we have probably the biggest story of the whole tournament with our 2019 national champions, the Virginia Cavaliers. In a classic case of worst to first, UVA went from being a constant meme on social media last year to winning their first ever national championship this year. The Cavaliers were the first ever team last year to be ranked a 1 seed and lose to the 16 seed in the first round. Receiving a ton of scrutiny and heat across all media, many wondered if they would be able to get back to that elite status as a program. However, their head coach Tony Bennett describes that loss as, and I quote, a beautiful heartbreak, and attributes a lot of their success today to those hard times last year. Bennett and the rest of the Cavaliers put all of that scrutiny to rest when they took down Texas Tech in a certified classic of a game. As they stand atop of all college basketball world, they're a story we can all look to and admire the will to bounce back after being knocked down. And that's a wrap on what we have as some of the biggest storylines of March Madness 2019. Shifting gears now, we'd like to send it over to our hockey guy, Charlie Romano, with what's happening in the NHL playoffs so far. Charlie, are you there?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for letting me compose myself. I went and got a haircut, and now I'm real centered and relaxed. So, this game was very historic for the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's the first time that the Blue Jackets have ever gotten past the first round of the Stanley playoffs. All right? Now, that is huge for us. So, the Blue Jackets also had a few other record-breaking and just historic moments that day. They were also the first team ever to sweep a President's Cup winner. All right? Now, The Lightning were fantastic this year, but let's give it to the Jackets. Swept the President's Cup winners. How did this happen? So the first game was very close, and it was a 4-3 score. Blue Jackets, obviously. It was a sweep. And then the second game, 5-1. Third game, 3-1. And then the fourth game was 7-3. Now, the 7-3 game was huge. That brought the score differential up to 19-8. That is just a swamping by the Blue Jackets. So, John Tortorella was our coach and a key player in the franchise's first round win. He has been a coach that has been surrounded by a little bit of negative publicity because he, in not so many words, fought another coach. So when he fought that other coach, it was back in roughly 2013, and he got demoted to assistant coach. After 2013, the Blue Jackets took him on because he really was mad at the other coach because they were targeting one of his players, and he was not standing for that. So he's a very tough coach, and his leadership and his tough mentality led the Blue Jackets to their first round victory and sweep in Blue Jackets history. Kravoski is the Columbus Blue Jackets goalie. Now, during the regular season, he's always lights out. But in the playoffs, for all the teams that he's played for, he hasn't necessarily had the best reputation. But this year, it's been different. He had a 93% save percentage. He faced 117 goals, and he has a 93% save percentage. That is unbelievable. Let's see some highlights.